Hello guys, welcome back to Off the Shelf. If you're new here, vanakkam and hello. This is my solo podcast where I dive into the books I read, break down what hit me, what confused me, and sometimes what made me question my whole existence. The idea is simple. Every time I finish reading a book, I pop up here to talk about it. No fancy analysis, no 5,000 word literature reviews, just straight up thoughts, reflections, and stories, all served in casual English. So, for the first book on Off the Shelf, I have decided to start with something nice, light, and breezy. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Yes, light and breezy. Just a casual 2500-year-old military strategy manual. Because my brain clearly said, that's small, dog. But honestly, there was some method to this madness. When 2025 kicked off, I was stuck in bed after a minor surgery. Between Netflix marathons and thinking about the meaning of life at 3 a.m., I realized if there was ever a good time to start reading, it was now. And I didn't just want to read for the sake of reading. I wanted to pick something that would make me think differently. Something short, something sharp and powerful. The Art of War fit the requirements perfectly. It's just 66 pages. Yes, the book is shorter than some restaurant menus, but the weight of what's inside, it's massive. It's not just about the battle, the soldiers, the horses, or the swords. It's about how you think, how you plan, and how you respond to chaos, which honestly feels more relevant to surviving deadlines, life drama, and IPL auctions than it does to real battlefield sometimes. And that's why The Art of War became my first pick. The Art of War by Sun Tzu is basically a master class on strategy, survival, and smart decision making, all packed into a mere 66 pages. At its core, the book teaches one simple thing: victory isn't about fighting harder, it's about fighting smarter, or better yet, avoid the fighting. Across 13 chapters, Sun Tzu breaks down everything from understanding your enemy to positioning yourself wisely, mastering timing, adapting to situations, and even knowing when to retreat. That's a very important skill. It's less about swinging swords and more about sharpening your mind, whether it's a little battlefield or just a regular Tuesday full of meetings and chaos. The Art of War shows that strategy, patience, and flexibility always beat brute force. Or, to put it another way, Sun Tzu was basically the original 5 minute craft guy, but instead of giving us the weird DIY hacks, he gave us life hacks that actually work even after 2500 years. Alright, now that you have gotten the bigger picture of what the Art of War is about, let's dive a little deeper, chapter by chapter. Don't worry, this is not going to be a college lecture. It's going to be quick takeaways, some real life stories, and basically me connecting ancient Chinese wisdom to our chaos every day. Chapter 1 is called Laying Plans, and it basically sets the foundation for the whole book. Sun Tzu says before you even think about fighting, you plan. You plan like your life depends on it because it kind of does in war. He talks about five constant factors you must seriously consider before stepping into any battlefield. The moral law, which questions is everyone motivated and aligned with the same purpose in an army? Heaven, do you have the understanding of the natural elements, things like weather, the seasons, the timing, the earth? Do you know the terrain well enough? Do you know where the high grounds are, the low grounds are, the distances you have to travel, the obstacles you need to overcome, the actual battlefield? The commander, he questions the qualities of the leader: wisdom, his sincerity, his courage, his discipline, Number five, method and discipline. Is the organization, how is the organization of your army? How is its structure? How are the logistics and the management? In short, if you don't know when you are fighting, why you are fighting, and who's leading you, you are basically signing up to lose. This instantly reminded me of my school group project, where none of us knew the topic. Half the team disappeared. The leader is just there for attendance and bit of grace marks. You know, in scenarios like that, Sun Tzu would have kicked the shit out of us in 2 minutes. Planning isn't not for just wars. It's for anything where failure isn't an option. First job interviews, your final year project, your fantasy cricket team, whatever it is. The better you plan, the less you have to panic. Chapter 2 is titled Waging War. Here, Sun Tzu basically says war is expensive, so don't get into one unless you absolutely have to. And if you do, finish it fast. He talks about the brutal costs of war, not just the money, but the time, the people, the resources, and their morale. Dragging a conflict out too long drains your army, supplies, and the soul. If you're going to fight, fight smart and fight quickly. Delays only make you weaker. Speed, precision, and good resource management are your best friends. This reminded me of us going to shop for dresses. You know that feeling when you wander into a shop during a sale and you plan to buy only one T-shirt or one jean, but 3 hours later you're broke, tired, and carrying 6 bags of shit you don't even remember picking up and why you bought. That's exactly what Sun Tzu warns us about. Dragging things out leads to unnecessary losses. So whether it's war, work, or even shopping, know what you want, go straight for it, and wrap it up before you drain your energy and your wallet. Chapter 3 is called Attack by Stratagem. And honestly, this is where Sun Tzu starts flexing his brain. One of the most famous lines of the book comes from here. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. In other words, the best win is when you don't even have to lift a finger. If you can mess with your opponent's plans, break their alliances, make them give up without even stepping onto the battlefield, that's next level genius. It's not just about winning, it's about winning smartly. Like, why waste energy on a big dramatic fight when you can finish things quietly and still walk away as the winner? When I read this chapter, I couldn't help but think of the Tamil cinema today. So many films are trying so hard to crack the whole pan India formula. Big budgets, massive hype, marketing blitzes, a huge star cast. But then you have someone like Sakti Soundararajan. This guy had a simple but clever strategy. Every film he made was the first of its kind in Tamil cinema for that genre. Nanayam. It was the first proper heist movie in Tamil cinema. Murudan, the first zombie film. Tick Tick Tick, the first space film. Captain, the first Predator style action film. Now look, I'm not saying all his films were perfect. Even if there were flaws, people would forgive it a lot because it was the first time they were seeing something like that on screen. It's classic Sun Tzu move. Create a new battlefield where nobody even knows the rules yet. Be the first and you automatically change the game. Same thing in life, whether it's at work, in business, or chasing dreams. Sometimes it's smarter to choose a new battleground rather than fight where everyone already is crowding. Alright, chapter 4 is called Tactical Disposition. And this is basically Sun Tzu saying, boss, before you think about winning, first make sure you don't lose. He says a smart general first secures his own position, his defenses, before he even dreams about attacking someone else. Because if your foundation is shaky, it doesn't matter how brave you are or how clever your plan sounds. You are setting up yourself to crash or burn. It's simple. First, protect yourself. Then, when the time is right, strike. It's not about rushing into battles. It's about knowing that sometimes waiting and strengthening your position is the bigger flex. The first thing that popped into my mind while reading this is football. Not the crazy 7-0, 9-3 kind of matches. I'm talking about proper championship winning games. There is a reason you hear Sir Alex Ferguson, the legendary Man United manager, say attack wins you games, defense wins you titles. Best teams in the history of football, the 2006 Italy's World Cup side, the Chelsea under Mourinho, or even the classic Barcelona backlines, all knew one thing. You can have all the flashy attacking in the world. You can have Messi, you can have Didier Drogba, you can have mm, who else? Oh, there are a lot of people. But if your defense is leaking goals, forget lifting any trophy. It's not the most glamorous thing. Fans love seeing goals, not clean sheets. But it's the rock solid defense that actually decides the winner at the end of a long season. And that's exactly what Sun Tzu is getting at. Build your walls first, set your foundation, stay calm under pressure. Then, when the moment is right, attack with full force, knowing you are covered at the back. Honestly, whether it's football, work, studies, relationships, sometimes the smartest move isn't to chase the win immediately. It's to quietly build strength until the win becomes inevitable. Chapter 5 is titled Energy. And here, Sun Tzu basically drops a life hack that most of us, honestly, still don't apply even today. He says it's not just about how much effort you put in, it's about how smartly you focus that effort. You can have the strongest army, the biggest weapons, the loudest slogans, but if your energy isn't organized properly, it's useless. It's like trying to light a fire with wet wood. All the passion in the world won't save you if you don't arrange things the right way. Channel your strengths, time your moods, and always remember small, sharp, focused actions at the right time hit harder than big random energy blasts. These are like those random motivated days we all have. When you suddenly wake up one morning, pumped full of ambition, you try to fix your diet, clean your room, finish all your pending work, start a side hustle, run a marathon, become Ambani, become Elon Musk. By the evening, you are just lying on the floor. Why am I like this? And that's exactly what Sun Tzu wants us against. Raw energy is great, but if you don't channel it properly, it's just burnout in disguise. In life too, the ones who win are rarely the ones who sprint blindly. It's the ones who pace themselves, conserve their energy, and strike when the time is right that come out on top. Chapter 6 is called Weak Points and Strong. And this is basically where Sun Tzu reveals one of the most important cheat codes of winning. He says, don't attack where your enemy is strong, attack where they are weak. Simple, ruthless, and effective. You don't bang your head against the wall where they are ready and waiting. You find that one gap, that one weak spot they didn't protect, and you slip through like a pro. Smart people don't waste time challenging strength head on. They find the cracks and quietly walk through it. Those boss fights in video games where the enemy looks massive, terrifying, but there is always a single tiny weak spot. like a glowing patch on their back, or one vulnerable moment when they charge and miss. If you keep hitting randomly, you lose. But if you figure out that one weakness and time your strike, suddenly you win the round, you win the game. Same thing in real life. If you're trying to launch a business, don't blindly take on the biggest players where they are strongest. Find your own niche, your own gap, the area they forgot about, and own that area. At the end of the day, picking the right battle at the right spot decides everything. Chapter 7 is called Maneuvering, and here Sun Tzu focuses on the art of moving wisely. Moving your army isn't just about charging ahead like a hero. Every step, every shift, every reposition needs to be calculated, not chaotic. Because once you're on the move, you are vulnerable. Your energy, your morale, your supplies, everything gets tested when you're shifting places. So moving without a proper plan is basically asking for trouble. Speed is important, but control, timing, and preparation matter even more. This made me think of family trips. You know those road trips where you randomly pack everyone into a car, no routes, no stops, or even for pets, or even fuel stops. 2 hours in, we are lost in the middle of nowhere. Someone's crying for snacks, someone's blaming one for sitting on their legs. Something is happening. That's exactly what Sun Tzu wants us about. In real life, whether it's changing careers, shifting cities, or even just pivoting a project, it's not enough to move fast. You've got to move smart. Prepare. Plan your new route. Expect a few bumps and then roll. So you're not stuck in no man's land wondering how life spiraled out of control. And you have control of your life. Chapter 8 is called Variation and Tactics. And here, Sanju is like, bro, if you have only one plan and stick to it no matter what, you're setting yourself up for disaster. Life changes, battlefields change, people change, you change, I change. If you can't adapt on the fly, you are toast. No matter how perfect your plan A was, you need a plan B. No, you need at least still plan Z. Stubbornness is not strength. Real strength is being flexible without panicking. This hits me hard because it reminds me of those classic exam preparation days. You know, when you prepare for an exam thinking this topic 100% பக்காடா நாளைக்கு தான் 20 மார்க் வரும், and then you open the paper. The actual questions are like aliens talking in different language. Huh? The people who survive aren't the ones who memorize the most. It's the one who could stay calm, adapt their approach mid-exam, and figure out some answers, even if the paper was full of shit. Same thing in real life. Your dream job might fall through. Your big project might flop. Your perfect plan might backfire. If you stay rigid, you break. If you stay flexible, you bend, you adjust, you eventually win. Sun Tzu basically says, don't marry your plan, marry your goal. Change the plan when the situation demands. Chapter 9 is called The Army on the March. Sun Tzu basically teaches us how to read the room, or in his case, how to read a battlefield. He says when you're moving towards the enemy, you have to observe everything, their behavior, their environment, the terrain, because appearances can be super misleading. Just because the enemy looks weak doesn't mean they are. Just because the path looks clear does not mean it's safe. Never trust the surface. Learn to spot hidden traps, fake weaknesses, and signs of real danger. This is something the current gen social media influencers do. You see people posting perfect gym selfies, dream vacations, fancy dinners, what else and what not. But behind the scenes, you never know the real struggle, the debt. the stress, or the 15 failed vacation plans before the one perfect vacation. Same thing Sanjay is warning us about. Don't get fooled by what you see at first glance, whether it's people, opportunities, or problems. Train yourself to read deeper. In life, too, when something seems too easy or too perfect, pause, take a step back, look closer, ask questions. Why is this being good? Why is this too perfect? Because sometimes what looks like a free road is actually a trap waiting for the first overconfident person to walk in. Chapter 10 is called Terrain, and here Sun Tzu reminds us not all battlefields are created equal. Different types of ground need different types of plans. You can't use the same trick everywhere and expect to win. Context matters. He actually breaks it down into six different types of terrain. And honestly, these six types feel like life situations. Number one, accessible ground, where both you and your enemy can move easily. Play it safe, avoid getting trapped. Entangling ground, tricky area. Once you go in, it's hard to come out. Only move forward if you have no choice. Otherwise, don't step into that shit. Third, temporizing ground. Neither side gains much advantage here. Stay put, save your energy, wait for a better chance. Number four, narrow passes. Tight spaces where few can pass at a time. Get there first and hold strong. If the enemy got there first, think twice before attacking. You might be a scapegoat in that narrow path. Number five, precipitous heights. High ground like hills or mountains. Whoever controls the high ground controls the battle. Fight uphill only if you have no other option. Number six, positions at a great distance. This is where the both sides are separated by a long distance. This is when you need to manage your supplies smartly. Whoever handles the long march better wins. Read the ground, decide the game plan. Do not rush in blindly without understanding your surroundings. This is just simply asking for trouble. This is somewhat relatable to cricket. You know how some batsmen look like kings on flat Indian pitches, but suddenly struggle on three English tracks. Same player, same bat, but different ground, different game. If you are trying to play gully cricket, lofted shots on a green, seaming pitch in England, goodbye, good night, boss. That's not going to happen. You will be back in the dressing room faster than you can say TLS method in full form. Same in life too. New job, new city, new relationships. You can't copy paste your old strategy everywhere. Read the pitch, adjust your shot selection, then go for run. Sanju's message is simple here. Survive the terrain first, then conquer the game. Do not rush. Now we come to chapter 11, which is called the nine situation, one of the longest and the most packed chapters of the art of war. Sun Tzu basically says here every situation you face has a different flavor and you can't treat them all the same. This might sound a bit similar to the types of terrains, but there he properly explains how the terrains are going to help you. This is the situation about how your army looks, how the enemies one are preparing, how you need to counter prepare for them. He breaks it down into nine different situations. Number one, dispersive ground. When you are fighting in your own territory, people are still half-hearted in your army. because their homes are right behind them. No urgency, not ideal for heavy battle because they don't want to lose their homes or themselves in their home ground, facile ground. When you are in sneaky hostile territory, but not too far into them. People are cautious, but not desperate. They are but easy to get lazy or distracted. Number three, contentious ground. Whoever controls this land gets a clear advantage. This is hot property. You must move fast and be decisive. Number four, open ground. This is where the movement is easy for both sides. If you fight here, it's going to be a coin toss. That is, it's going to be 50-50 probability. Better you stay flexible and observe. Number five, ground of intersecting highways, where many roads meet important crossroads. Whoever controls this spot controls the flow of the battle. Prioritize getting it. Secure alliances if needed, because this spot is going to win you wars. Number six, serious ground, where you are deep inside enemy territory. The deeper you go, the harder it is to fall back. Pressure builds a lot. Think properly. Number seven, difficult ground, where natural barriers like rivers, forests, mountains make the moment hard. It's going to be hard for you as well as for the enemy. But moving blindly here will lead to disaster. Plan each and every step. Number eight, hemmed in ground. You are trapped in a narrow space. If you are here, fight smart or find a quick exit. Nothing else is possible. Number nine, desperate ground, where survival is the only option. No retreating. There is no way out. Sun Tzu says this is where soldiers fight the fiercest. When people have no choice, they bring out a different level of strength. Not every problem in life is the same. Some problems need patience. Some need you to retreat. Some need you to throw everything you have all in. Knowing what ground you are standing on mentally, emotionally, financially is half the battle won. This reminds me of career decisions. Sometimes you are in a comfortable place, like dispersive ground, and you get lazy. Sometimes you are inside deep enemy territory, stuck in a toxic job, a tough phase, and suddenly you find strength you didn't even know you had. Sun Tzu's advice is gold even today. First, figure out where you are, then plan how to survive or win from there. Chapter 12 is titled The Attack by Fire. Here, Sun Tzu talks about using fire not just as destruction but as a smart tactical weapon. There are five ways he wants us to use fire. 1. Burn enemy camps. Light up the enemy's living spaces. Create panic and break their morale. 2. Burn the supplies. Attack food storage, weapons, and other essentials. Starve them out without fighting directly. Burn transport and equipment. Destroy the enemy's wagons, the horses, the tools. Basically, cut off their ability to move or fight. Burn their arsenals and weapon stores. Target their bombs, their arrows, their swords, so that when they come to fight, they are empty handed. And in extreme cases, number 5, burn enemy troops directly. When the enemy is trapped, fire can be used directly against them. It is brutal but effective when there is no other option. But here's the important thing. Sun Tzu, in this chapter, he keeps on repeating, do not use the fire randomly. You need the right conditions, dry weather, favorable wind, good timing, and most importantly, a clear backup plan for what happens after the fire starts, because fire is not your friend. It's going to be an enemy for you too. Fire isn't just about setting things on fire. It's about causing strategic chaos, the kind that weakens the enemy while you stay in control. This made me think about arguments, the rage texts we have. Like when you're burning mad, you sometimes want to send that one angry message or call someone out publicly. But if you do it without thinking, the fire ends up burning your own peace more than theirs. Sun Tzu would say, boss, plan your fire. Set it only when you know the flames will help you, not destroy you. In life too, sometimes you need to set fire, walking away from a toxic workplace, calling out unfair treatment, shaking up a team that is stuck in laziness. But just like in war, set the fire wisely, watch it, control it, win because of it, not in spite of it. And finally, we come to chapter 13, the use of spice, not spice, spice. This is where Sun Tzu basically says, bro, stop guessing and start knowing what's happening. Because information wins war even before the swords are drawn. He talks about how gathering intelligence is absolutely crucial, and he breaks down spies into five types, each with a special role to play. Number one, the local spies, people from enemy's own territory who you recruit to your side. They know their land, their culture, the people, their pure gold, inward spies. Officers or insiders within the enemy camp who leak information. Think of it like a mole planted deep inside the other side. Converted spies, enemy spies who you catch and then flip to work for you instead of against you. Double agents basically. Doomed spies, spies who are intentionally fed false information to pass on to the enemy. It sounds cruel, but it's part of the deception tactic. They carry lies that mess up enemies' plans. Surviving spies, the real MVPs, the one who go beyond enemy lines, gather real intelligence, and safely come back home to report it. Victory doesn't always come from strength. This is what Sanju has been trying to tell throughout this book. It often comes from knowing what's happening before everyone else does and moving smartly based on that info. He even says to know your enemy, you must become your enemy. This instantly reminded me of watching some big tournaments, football or cricket tournaments. The best teams don't just practice their own strategies. They spend hours studying their opponents, their weaknesses, their habits, their pressure points. It's not just about playing your best game. It's about knowing how to quietly dismantle their game plan without them even realizing it. Same thing in life, whether it's negotiating a salary, handling a tough meeting, or even starting a business. The ones who prepare properly, gather inside information, and stay two steps ahead are the ones who walk away smiling while everyone else wonders what just happened. One important line from this chapter is guessing is gambling, knowing is winning. And that brings us to the end of Art of War, Sun Tzu's timeless manual for winning battles, surviving chaos, and outsmarting life itself. My personal rating for this book, I would give it a solid 4 out of 5. Why 4? Because even though the language is a bit heavy at times, and some examples obviously come from ancient warfare, the principles deep lying inside are pure gold even today. Work, sports, relationships, business, politics, you name it, and Sun Tzu's ideas fit right in. The book is not something you finish and forget. It's the kind you keep coming back, especially when life starts feeling like a battlefield. And honestly, considering it's only 66 pages, it's one of the best time versus wisdom investments we can make. If you're someone who loves understanding strategies or just wants a powerful little boost to think smarter, The Art of War should definitely be on your shelf. And hey, now it's officially off the shelf here too. And coming up next on off the shelf, we are trading ancient battlefields for the modern war, procrastination. The next book is Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. It's like if you ever started a to-do list and choose to scroll memes instead, this one's going to hit it home. No swords, no tactics, just productivity hacks that actually work. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for tuning into the very first full episode of Off the Shelf. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the Art of War, do consider subscribing, sharing it with a friend, or just letting me know what you thought. We are just getting started, and I've got a shelf full of great reads waiting to be cracked open. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next page. Bye bye.